you all to get on, you know, and I just got to get everything straight. So, you know, I hope everybody's doing good. What first day of September? Do you remember? Like, let me get take a word from the fire. Gonna be on here for a minute, so let me get some stuff straight. You know, and hope everybody's doing good. So let me get everything straight, and let me get everything going real quick. Let me get some stuff together real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me get this thing together. Let me see if I get everybody on here live. I know it's Labor Day, so some people may not be on here. It's okay. We're gonna see what's up here though. Let me turn this thing on real quick. I gotta get everything kind of wired real quick, so just coming over here. Let's see if I can get this thing on here real quick. Let's see if people come on here. What's happening? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Welcome aboard. Just coming on here for a minute. Um, Doing good. It's a nice day. It's fresh. It's the first day of September. So I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? How do you spell trying to find people to talk to? I don't know. I don't know. Life is like one of them things that you kind of gotta. I can't tell people what to do as far as how they talk because there's situations where everybody's circumstances is different. Um, life. You have situations where you have to kind of find your agenda where you're coming from. Don't be alarmed. There's a little bit going on with the wire in the days because of where the circuits. Don't be worried. It depends on where. Uh, you just have to kind of find yourself. That's all. You know. You got to make it make sense. So it just kind of happens. I can't really even put in the words. Just something that you do. So, but anyway, we're gonna see what's up though. So, not much to say with that though. It all depends though. Um, you know. But anyway, we get into this question though. Um, about this whole thing with Gloria Gaynor. Will there be a backlash because she got outed as a mega donor? Um, for the record, for people watching the live, I will be on today, probably Wednesday and Friday. She got outed as a mega donor. Even days, I'm not gonna be here Tuesday and Thursday. So, for the record, for people watching the live, I will be on today, probably Wednesday and Friday. Even days, I'm not gonna be here Tuesday and Thursday. So, but I thought I'd let you know. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you for hitting that thing up. Told you I was coming back on Monday, but I thought I'd let you know. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? Hope you're feeling all right. Good to see you. I'm gonna be here today, Wednesday, and Friday. Told you I was coming back on Monday. Got stuff to do tomorrow and Thursday, so hope you're feeling all right. Good to see you. I'm gonna be here today, Wednesday, and Friday. Got stuff to do tomorrow. Probably be on for another 40 minutes to an hour today. See how it go. Depends on the conversation. Excuse me. Got a lot of videos coming up, so depends on the conversation. Excuse me. Got a lot of videos coming up, so um, it was well, okay. How do I say this? Interesting question that you asked because I was big at the same time back in '90. Um, iconic. I would probably say Sinead O'Connor because nothing compares to you. Prince wrote it and the implications. Around the way though, Lisa Stansfield been around the world because she a white chick from England, and people was feeling that song. So I say short term, Lisa Stansfield. Long term, Sinead O'Connor. Lisa Stansfield been around the world because she a white chick from England, and people were feeling that song. So I say short term, Lisa Stansfield. Long term, Sinead O'Connor. That's an interesting question. I've never been asked that one before. And that's kind of funny too, because they both were big at the same time. That's an interesting question. I've never been asked that one before. Because the Sinead O'Connor thing was a trip because she was managed by Prince's former manager, a guy named Stephen Fragnoli. And he kind of snuck that song to her to put it out. And and that was incredible flip for her career. Prince's former manager, a guy named Stephen Fragnoli. And he kind of snuck that song to her to put it out. And that was incredible flip for her career. Um, you think California? Because off the top, California, Virginia, and Louisiana. Those are three that come to mind when you say Nia. That's how my mind works. I say California, Virginia, and then Louisiana. Those are three that come to mind when you say Nia. They stunk. They got their butt decked, handed to them. Okay. Okay. Well, California was in there though. Oh yeah, they play no defense. I mean, Florida State ran them off the field. They got their butt decked, handed to them. Oh, okay. I'm not thinking right. I was looking at the Nia. I never been asked that question before, so my bad. Yeah, Louisiana. But anyway, I was thinking about the Anna part. Oh, okay. I'm not thinking right. I was looking at the Again, you the only person asking me certain type of questions that I never get asked anywhere else. So it's not something. But I know California was in it though. Again, you the only person asking me certain type of questions that I never get asked anywhere else. So. But yeah, they suck without Nick Saban. They stink. But yeah, they suck without Nick Saban. They stink. But anyway, no Nick Saban. But I mean, again, I don't know if they're gonna. I'm not. That means they're gonna lose 8, 9 games, but they gonna stink though. What's good? What's up? Thank you for coming through. We just got through exchanging pleasantries with your, and I'm glad you understood my SGA, my Aunt Edwards thing because I respect you as a journalist, as a sports. I just also want you to understand the marking of the game too. I want you to understand the marketing of the game too, because it's not just it's not just you know there's like when I used to always watch the music business, the cash used to say 95% business, 5% show. Well, sports is like that too, because what's his butt? Who was that running back that was with the Cowboys before Ezekiel got there? Because he had an 1,800-yard season, and he went to Philly, and he I can't think of him, but anyway, buddy of mine was a big Cowboys fan. Not thinking offhand. He can't do something that he ain't. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Buddy got mad at me because we walked down the street. He said, "How come DeMarco Murray ain't bigger with the Cowboys?" And I said, "Cause he don't sell no jerseys." And dude shook and looked at me, and I said, "You can wear the Cowboys jersey, but if people ain't feeling the product in there, you just stat padding." That's kind of where CD Lamb is. He's good, just like Stephon Diggs' brother is good, but Michael Parsons was the it. Dax got the it. There's just it's a strange synergy. Yeah, the Murray didn't have it. He went to Philly and he almost was like obsolete. So just saying is to say that hey, it's a lot of. That's why when we talk about SGA, like look, Ant got the thing, Coach Ryan. I got nothing to say about uh if they win they can win 7, 8, 9 games. He gets a bowl. That's where it's at right now. I imagine they're gonna take a big chunk because without Hunter and Shador and them, they're really vulnerable now. So we're gonna see what he did with the draft and recruits. But anyway, not making excuses. But he's actually proven that he can be a pretty good coach. He's proved that. So this should be interesting. What's up, RC? I think he's a good coach, not a great coach. Good to turn that program around. Good to have a Heisman Trophy winner. Good to have two cats that were drafted, that were known. So he got to be doing something right. And considering where they were before he got there and what he's done, you know, But I think to be great, you actually got to go up another notch, and then you gotta, you know, and again, he ain't gonna get what he was like as a player. I think that's what people are holding against him, and that's unfair. His standards are not there. He didn't have no NIL deals when they had money on their table when he played, but they didn't have the kind of deals they got now. And there's a lot of other factors involved. It's a different era of playing college ball. College ball always been like um, the warm up act for the pros, but now even more so. You know, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. Now, Bama been looking vulnerable, but not like that. But they were looking like that when Nick Saban was there. I don't want nobody to start romanticizing that they lost something when they lost to Clemson. They lost something. That era was going to come to an end. I don't think we're going to see those kind of runs again. You might win a couple of chips. Even Georgia got met with a kind of a tricky dealt. Clemson did too. You know, we'll see. I don't look at Ohio State running off championships, either nonstop. So it's different. There's more parity. Cats are going out in different places. Then our money's real, and it's it's gonna be a little bit trickier. Don't be alarmed. I'm gonna try to run some of these things on my other channel. So give me just a second. Okay, who's the greatest Bobby? Um, Out of that bunch is Womack, and it's not even close. I mean, Womack was a guitarist, singer, songwriter, musician, and he did it all. He was kind of like Bobby Brown without the dancing, but he did everything else. I mean, he wrote. It's not close. Caldwell has one of the greatest songs ever in the catalog, and I like Caldwell. You know, but it's you know. Well, again, Miami did enough to get through. Sometimes you just got to look at it for what it is. If you long as you don't come in with no huge expectations, thinking that your first tier team, then you won't be disappointed. I think that's why that L hit you last night. Oh yeah, anything will be good for the Packers defense. Come on now, this a fresh cat, inspired, young, peak prime, and he got a young quarterback who's actually has has been in many postseason, has won about as many postseason games as Dak Prescott. So I think he'll be all right. I think Matt LaFleur just saved his job for these 2, 3 more years easily. This is a steal, you know. But again, teams can make adjustments in college football as they can in other sports. I wouldn't say Notre Dame is going to be totally lost, but nobody. I haven't even thought about doing that video. I might do it. I have to think about it. Been hearing enough about Tyler, but there's no next. Them days is gone. I wish people would stop this next, especially in music and movies. You might could get away with that in sports. You can't really get away with that in sports, but you sure can't get away with it. You can't get away with it in music or movies because we're not there. Yeah, I know. Well, Miami ain't the old Miami. So you got a chance. You know, you know. I mean. But again, it's a long season, and we don't really know. I say at best, probably a good second tier team. Both of you. Well, I wasn't. I just saying, first of all, none of these acts today gonna come out here and blow up because unless you come up with some kind of songs or something that people gravitate towards, So you got to find a plan B. And I don't, it's not fair to say something so remind me of somebody because we're different with different standards. We're in a whole different era. We're in a stream era. We're in an era where uh, it's removed. I know they were off for last year, but hey, they wanted to start this year. But I don't know. That don't mean they won't stink either. Well, I'll tell you like this: if you're not listening to a full project by these acts and they're out, then they suck basically. Because I can go find somebody local and like a couple of their tracks. Does that mean that you're gonna have a long term career? I think that's what gets lost today. People are expecting this instantaneous cha-ching, and when it don't happen, they get all in their feelings. But sometimes you just suck though. That's a different era now too. So no, they're not sleeping on them. It's just that Penn State does the same old routine. Penn State's problem is this. And one whoever I got in here as a regular is a Penn State fan. Let me tell you about Penn State's problem. They gonna win those 10 games, but it's that Ohio State Michigan games that if they don't have to deal with that, they could find a way that they could be. Melvin Franklin, they've been the same team for like 6, 7 years. They always lose those two. Well, I don't really want to think about that one, Charlene, because nobody really because if she did something with somebody from now, it would be just kind of like the Beyonce and Gaga corny. So no, it wouldn't really do much. Well, tell me who the two artists that you think they could do that. The problem with the Aaliyah is that it'd be like a one-off, and I don't think that there would be any female artists that's come out in the last 20 years that would really, because again, she was a product of her time, and them two ain't gonna last. Them two, no. She already did. You know, let me just stop this Aaliyah stuff right now, but Aaliyah worked with R. Kelly, and that was the best as it got. So cause he understood her vocally, the production. I just no, no. She did try that already. Work with Missy. Yeah, it's nobody really. Nobody really. I don't talk about when teams be beating up on AT&T it's a school that you ain't never heard of. That's just a beat down. We'll see what SC's about though. We'll see. I already seen it. I did a video about it some time ago. If you watch my videos, I talked about it quite a while ago. There ain't much to her. I saw her performance the other night and she was doing Rick James's Cold Blood and that thing was dreadful. There's not much to her. She doesn't do much for me at all. She's like some kind of act that's like put on her mother's nighttime wear and somebody thinks she's gonna morph into something that it's not that good. I can't say anything good about her, so I don't talk about whackness because she's beyond whack. See what we got right here. I wouldn't give her the time of nothing. She sucks. She's like an industry plant. There's nothing there. I can't do nothing with it. That's tough because it got to be a producer that doesn't mind her being off key. Got to be a producer that knows how to get the grit out of her. Um, she's worked with almost everybody. Eh, it's hard to say. Maybe back in the day, she had a chance to work with a Cashapp or Leon Silvers, but it's her voice is so whiskey. No, Prince did work with Mary J, and it wasn't at the peak of his career, and it didn't really add nothing. They did some tracks. Because it's called the music industry, and they take a young act, they see somebody that has they can groom anybody they want. It's called grooming 101. She's nice and fertile and she looks a certain way, and she's kind of like a female version of Lil Nas X, the Goldilocks. There's this old show back in the day called Mary Hartman, about a woman that almost had like Arrested Development, and it's kind of like Mariah Carey's Tomboyish, still acting like you 16, riding on a tire with a rope, and you just wee. Well, that's kind of how this is. It's a cute act, and they put money on acts that are lightweight, dewy eyed, and real accessible. That's nothing new. You can have a fan base if you have the look, and your audience doesn't mind that you're squeaky singing. She's a same kind of twinky squeaky singing person as I would say um, Paul Abdul and Jennifer Lopez. That same thing. What's up? Welcome to Monday. We were in September. Do you remember? So fan bases is not hard to achieve. Well, that's not a good day to waste start your broadcast with me though. You gotta learn the schemes. Fundamentally, you gotta know how to place your feet and read defenses. Check downs, pinpoints, watch shifts. Today's football isn't complicated, but it is complicated. It isn't complicated because you know what cats are gonna do, but it's complicated. Can you read and not make your options? You got to be able to read a field. I'm with Philly to spank that butt. That's what I'm with. It's a huge game for both in different reasons. The Cowboys need to win for morality and everything that's going on. He's got to learn the technical aspect. It's not how you throw the ball; it's how you make it connect. You know, Vince Young threw a sidearm, but he connected. Archie Manning had a little side, but Sonny Jurgensen too. But it's how you connect and how you stand in the pocket. You wish, you wish. If they went like that, then that means they'll win about 9, 10 games. But if they get their butt handed to them, you know, I don't think it was jitters. I think Ohio State's defense put the plug on them. That's what it was. Sometimes you got used to that speed. You got used to that speed. Again, he has to read the defense as well, and he has to be prepared. We'll see. Texas just went against a better team. Doesn't mean Texas isn't legit. Doesn't mean he isn't good. They were a better team. So give Ohio State props for playing that defense. They just made them speed it up. That's all. But if he sucks, then of course a lot's gonna be expected of him. Oh no, no, no. He can actually play, and he's actually where he's supposed to be. There's no comparison to Bronny. Bronny need to be in college. That's what he need to be. Bron need to play about at least 3 or 4 years of college ball, G League, maybe go overseas and maybe come back when he's about 26, 27. He wasn't ready for the big time and it showed. That was a freak show. Hopefully cats don't get exposed no more, so we'll see. If you come on here to troll, I'm not up for it today. I said what I said. Bron ain't got no business being no NBA. Anybody with common sense knows that. Yeah, he lost that playoff game last year and he got out coached. But I think he's, again, it's fine tuning. It's gonna be adjustments have to be done. You know, um, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. No, I wouldn't, because I would not embarrass somebody like that. That is trolling. Bronny James sucks, yo. What's happening, Louis? How you doing? Bronny sucks. It's like a bad extra in a movie. It's not a joke. That's one of the reasons why they're trying to get rid of him in LA. They tired of the antics because the kid backfired. They could have went and got a decent draft pick, maybe get out the first round. Maybe. They stuck with a kid who is just not fundamentally ready. And they can't even play him in garbage time. You can't do that. For real. You stand on summer league. That's like your church backyard hacky sack horse and sacky races. Everybody gets a ribbon, and he is just not there. And if he plays as long as his daddy, he might get to 10,000 points. Just saying, but he's just not good. And sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. You can be a Laker fan or whatever fan you want to be, but don't come here telling me some mess that cat can play when it is dreadful. It's dreadful. And I like him as a man. The young man came of what he overcame, but to be a defensive guru, you got to learn how to put your mitts down and get in your stance. Who he gonna learn from? No, I would not. So you can't speak for me because I would never put nobody in a position they were compromised when they weren't ready. So don't say no mess like that. No, I wouldn't. It's one of them situations where you have to use tact and you have to think about the individual and the scrutiny and everything that goes along with it. You would do that. No, I wouldn't. Mm-mm. That's not gonna happen because their paths wouldn't cross. And it would have to be like a house type of song. Remember Steve Silky Hurley or somebody like that. It had to be somebody that does house music or dance music to make that work. That wouldn't happen though. I think I'll be on 20 more minutes today. Again, like I said earlier, I'll be back on Wednesday and Friday, even days off this week. So expect me Wednesday and Friday. If you were good, if you're not good, we're wasting time. All most athletes are ultra competitive, but to think that they belong with grown people and competing for money and economics is a different animal. And let's be real, Bronny James makes Austin Rivers like the second coming of Steph Curry. So stop with the cap, okay? Just stop. And Austin Rivers is a third tier guard at best, okay? And is he better than uh Steph's brother? No. So no. You can be competitive and all this, but you got to use common sense too. If you're not that good, you're not that good. Scott Pippen Jr. got a chance to actually be off the bench, a 6-7 man rotation. Bronny is more like in that 10 through 12 slot. Scotty Jr. is somewhere between the 6 through 7, maybe 8 slot. Bronny's in the 10 through 12 slot. There's tiers to this. So again, I'm not sitting here wasting my breath talking about something with common sense. Scottie Pippen Jr. has actually looked okay in some sparks. But again, remember, he's off the bench, but he's better than what Bronny James is. Jaylen Brown told y'all last year the cat can't shoot. He was snickering at him on the sideline. But you keep on with all that Bronny mess. He's got a little bit of defense with his left hand, a little bit of a move. Ain't a lot there that merits with the hype. So no, he's not the missing piece. I think that he's older. I think that they need a more of a rim protector. Uh, they need what I call someone that's kind of in between. I don't think that he's the answer. I don't think he's the answer. I think he'll be good for them, but I don't think he's the answer. Not at this stage. Because if he can go there and win, that would be something. Now he got the right coach. Udoka would have been great with Brooklyn, but I just don't sense it here. She sucks. She can't sing. She doesn't have. She had. She came out with all them cuts with Jazzy Faye 808s and that, and then it faded, and then her thing went faded, and there was no because she was treated like a hood star. Well, she married Russell. She got some prominence. That's been a great career hit for her. But aside from the dancing and stuff, her music and her is corny. And there's a lot. No, the problem with Durant is can he stay healthy? And they would have, again, he didn't wasted a lot of time trying to replicate what he had in Golden State. So this is his last rodeo. But I don't see no ring though. Sierra stinks compared to them two. So I don't have anything good to say about Sierra. She's a third tier and she's behind them. That's all I can tell you. She did not have the look. She was like a triple broke junior whopper Janet Jackson, which it was cute because she could do that backward split and that dance. That's all she had going for her. She worked with Jazzy Faye. Stuff was cute, 106 and Park era. And then, people like there's a ringtone act. She wasn't going to be for the long haul. She doesn't even have an Ashanti in her. Come on now. Gotta do better than that. She didn't have the impact they did. They had better songs. And they connected. But she was a double broke Janet. She didn't have the songs that Aaliyah had. And she wasn't that good. Getting compared to people and making it happen is different. What's happening, Kelvin? Let me see what I got. Steve Winwood. I love that song. I like Take Me Home Tonight, but Higher Love still hits. That's debatable. You could make a case for the 60s and the 70s, but that's debatable. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what's that? Because she was a light in the cakes non-singer, and she was a ringtone act, and there was nothing distinctive about her. So that's what works against her. Well, she did the anthem at one of them, forgot what games it was a few years ago, and she was introduced as Mrs. Russell Wilson, and that's what got her because she went from messing with Future. She went from music to NFL, and that football, that sports trophy wife carries weight. She fixed her hair game on. She looked good, but she sucks. Okay. And Sierra ain't even as remembered as Keisha Cole. Okay. So stop. Stop asking me about third, fourth tier on a good day if I'm being kind. Jive turkeys who ain't got the goods. She ain't even remembered as Keisha Cole. And I wasn't even big on Keisha Cole, but Keisha Cole had more of a track record than Sierra as far as memorable that I could get with. At least I would kind of halfway act like that. Sierra's gonna be in that pile with K. Michelle and them for me. I know some people mention some stats, but yeah, well, what I'm saying is that's how Sierra is kind of looked at by my standards. Because it's not memorable. You know. Doing good. What's up with you, man? Appreciate you. I'm gonna be here for another 15 plus minutes. So I'm here today, Wednesday, probably, and Friday. So glad. I hope you had a good weekend, and thank you for coming through. Always enjoy what you present. She used to mess with Serge Ibaka. She had what I call I almost think that some executive was macking. She didn't have. It was kind of catchy, but it was kind of middle of the road. Mm, she did a duet with R. Kelly. I forgot. And she had some stuff, but just not one of those kind of acts that, unless she could hit with something, it just didn't really hit. So I just think she was just ordinary. Yeah, well, if you lose, then I understand why you don't come back here no more. Well, Charlene, there's a lot of them. Okay, one of the most obvious is Mariah Carey. Another obvious is Mary J. Blige. Okay, I mean, that's two off the top that got 30 plus years. Luther, Yeah, so there you go. You can mention those three and call it a day. But most of the best ones are from back in the day. So Luther's probably one of the most that comes to mind the most though. But again, and I could also mention somebody named Whitney Houston because she started off doing background with Shaka, Papillon. So there's a lot. Oh God, are you for real? Is this really a question? Is this really a question? That's like diddly dee and diddly dang. Come on now. Cause Faith didn't have it. She had the right look. She could sing, she could write, but she didn't have the rawness. And she lacked that kind of thing that Mary had. Mary can't sing, but Mary could sing to what you want. Faith was wasn't polished either, had the gospel in her, but just didn't connect. She was a precursor to J Lo and to Mary. And she married Biggie, but Puff, they didn't see her as the it. She just didn't have that it. Mary can't sing. Abracadabra. I always like the groove on that. Mary can't sing. I ain't stutter. Did you not hear that live album she did back in 97? That was one of the worst live things I ever heard in my life. She's cursed and hollered and hauled because she can't. I like her music and I like the feeling she gives. But did I ever mistake Mary J. Blige for Shantae Moore? Did I ever mistake Mary J. Blige for Lisa Fisher? Now I can name you people that blow Mary's wig under the table and back into. No, she can't sing like that. She's a good, strong artist who sings with passion and soul because she has that pain. But as far as like pure belting, no. But she better singing than Lauryn Hill. Come on now. Yeah, I'm just saying. So anyway. All right, we got about 13 more minutes. So do you think what's right when she said she? Yeah. Cause Shaka sang that song with fire. Mary J sounded like her throat was getting scratched by a cat. We never said she was. I said she gives you feeling. Now you can be a stylist. That don't mean you can sing, but that don't mean you suck. If you know how to be a good stylist, there's a lot of them. And that's what Mary does well. She gives you an atmosphere. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. I liked her first two records. I liked the stuff when she was with Diddy and all that. But I'm not Tito. Do I look like Tito? Don't say I look like Tito. I'm skinnier than Tito. But I miss Tito. Tito was a cool dude though. But I'm thinner than Tito, yo. Fantasia, that's a good question. She's both. Overrated because it's always over the top and it doesn't deliver what it should. She should be the Stephanie Mills of her generation. Underrated because she can sing a lot of these female ladies acts on the table. She just doesn't give the right material. So it's a bit of both. That's the sad part about Fantasia. She should be the Stephanie Mills of her generation. Got that Broadway pipes in her, got that kind of build, and one of those kind of acts that, hey, give her 2 or 3 money tracks, she could perform for the next 30 years. And no matter what's going on, be it on Zoom, be it live, hey. But the problem is she ain't got the right material. She got tired of playing the game. She got tired of the politics. You give her one of them Mary J doing just fine songs. You give her one of those Beyonce's Love on Top of Love. You give her that kind of form. You see what I'm talking about. They don't want to put no money on her. They put money on J Hud. They ain't putting none on Fantasia. It's not always the best of what you see. It's a lot of politics involved. Of course, you get tired. It's a tough business because you got to find other ways to make your bag. Your butt gets compromised. I don't make the rules. I just tell you. Yes, happy birthday to her. I like her Me Tierra record. It came back out in '93. Um, some things I like. You know, she had a nice voice, pleasant type of tone. Now, I'm not big on her, but some things I like. You know, I'd say she had a good career. It's whispery. It's one of those kind of voices that ain't that strong. She actually sounded better when she first came out with a Young Love and that. Her whispery tone, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I can take her. It's okay. But she had the right songs and she had the right attitude and the drive, and that's what got her over. Reby got a better voice, but Reby flat and boring. Janet got personality, so sometimes, so. Uh, J Hud never did anything for me in terms of what she's put out, but I will give her credit. She got it right. And I'm telling you, I'm not going when she won all those awards and, you know, but she wanted to be like a, triple junior whopper Whitney. They trying to make it happen. That's not saying much. That's not saying much. Most people ain't paid Janet no mind in 25 years, okay? And really, the Velvet Rope was the last thing that was all right. Everything after that was just, sloppy second, thirds, fourths. To me, her peak is 86 through 95. That's her peak to me. And she had a hit, big time peak. But I don't, you know. Our lips are sealed. Eternal Flame was a decent track, but the Go-Go's were just a better band. And that was a better song. And that had more edge to it and more catchy. I like Susanna Huss. She just didn't have the right person really bring the stuff out of her. No, Taylor did get her audience in terms of that big corporate medium more than any other. Now, Katy Perry got some of it, but it was more lower tier. But the Swifties is what more people talk about. Britney ain't lying in the sense that that was her. That was her in a way. Because she was that all American girl and all that and that whole thing. She ain't exactly wrong with that. She ain't exactly wrong because they put the kind of push that they push for her. There is similarities, except for when you talk about the songwriting and music. But if you talk about the commercialization of them, the White Snow Princess and the crossover pill and literally all that, you know, she did. She blonde, accessible, you know. Britney's entitled to how she feels. I'm not gonna ever question that because Britney was a movement. Britney was once the biggest act going. Panatar. And I don't really care for Stevie Nicks solo career aside from a couple of things, as you know. So I'd understand why she said she stole her career. I get it. I think Britney just got whitewashed by the industry. She did enough from 98 to '02 to whatever you thought. Because again, it's not as long as you think. A lot of these acts are around, but that doesn't mean they're putting out their best top stuff. She really had the game and she was catchy. No, she can't sing, but it's the music again. She was a stylist. She had the right songs, right time, and she hit. Toxic was my jam. In fact, Toxic is one of the best songs that Janet Jackson didn't do after about 95. I love the synthesizer. I love the way that spazzed out. She has some songs I like. Again, she was a movement. She had a kind of it about her. That's not by accident. Now I'm done with Britney after '07, but on the personal side, I keep an eye on her. But no, musically, it's been done for almost 20 years, and the industry turned her out. They put all the money on Timberlake, and they just turned her out. And that's the sad part about her. It happens though if you watch it for what it is, not for what you think. You know. No, she was what she was, but she had a movement about her though. Oh well, that's all major acts have had that. That's not just limited to them. Michael Jackson had that to this day. Man, there's a lot of acts. Charlene, you nailed it, and she had an it about her that enabled her. Barcades, not even close. Full Force's songs sounded like they were impersonating some other producer's template, and it worked. Just Barcade, but the Barcades had a Larry Dodson vocals. Just all he just shines all over. I like Full Force's production for other people. Except for Alice, I Want You for myself. For me, most of their best stuff was working with others. He talks to me with a bite, still goes hard. Okay, so we got so far. I'm gonna start Ralph Tresvant. I'm gonna bench Alexander Neal. I'm gonna cut Gerald Levert because Ralph is a starter. He just never had the right material. Singing, got it. Alexander Neal, bad dude. He's like kind of like, and I like Gerald Levert, but those other two move me a bit more though. And I like some of his stuff. What's the best thing? You never talk about your money, and then you never talk about who you were with. Those are top two with me. The smart, that kind of comes into a song. You never want to brag about your money or your business. Gerald was good. I liked a couple of his solo songs, and he was decent with Levert, and he wrote with Barry White and a couple of things, but I wasn't blown away by him. Alexander O'Neal had a better solo career. It's not up for discussion there. And Ralph Tresvant was every bit of the showman, and so on and so forth. And I like Gerald all right, but you're asking me about this. That's how I look at that, Charlene. I think people don't need to keep your money and your business out of the mix. The smarts will show for itself. Okay. All right. I call your name. But I love Time Will Reveal. And if almost anybody else you put that up against, I probably would have taken Time Will Reveal, but Bobby tore that up. In that order. Because Bobby Brown, for a while, was a bad dude. He was bad. And Freddie Jackson wasn't for Luther. Yeah, no, Bobby and Freddie are like really in somebody's shadows. Like those cats came big because some people forget. I like Keith Sweat's songs. Like, he's got songs I like and stuff. But compared to them two cats, now he got to take a seat. He got that whine on nasally thing. And the thing about it, I do like listening to some Keith Sweat stuff, but um, no, Bobby was bad. Bobby was bad, and Freddie was bad. I seen them all in concert. So okay. Thank people in kind of. Let me see. I keep saying that no matter what. She runs circles around Taylor. What are you talking about? The only reason why she can't do it is because we're in the country you in, and people who are saying ignorant stuff. Taylor Swift ain't got nothing on no Beyonce. She can't out sing her. She can't outperform her. But she's got complexion for protection. You're never gonna get me to give Taylor Swift much of anything. There's not much there. She can't match her in terms of like she can't match her because she's not a dominant artist. You know. And if we're in a balanced, fair world, which we're not, I'm getting ready to go in about a couple minutes. So just so you know, I got to head out in about 6 minutes. Saturday night. I like the groove of it, and those are my two favorite bands ever. But Saturday night gets just enough. I love the harmony on that song. All right. Okay, so what we got? That's fine. If you're trying to come across smart with it, that's on your own personal. It doesn't mean anything to me. There's no bias. I'm not a fan of either one of them, but Beyonce runs circles around her. You know, you gotta understand. I I cover a wide range of topics, and there's things I don't talk about that I see. But David Grohl, the Foo Fighters drummer, was in England some months ago, and he clowned Taylor Swift's guitar skills because he happens to be a multi instrumentalist, and he was breaking down her progressions. And when you come here and say something off the wall like this and says this nonsense that I gotta, and you act like I don't read and watch things like this, I'm aware. I ain't talking off the top of my head. I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan, but Beyonce runs circles around her. Beyonce was on stage with Prince. Do you really think Taylor Swift could have held a Prince's tambourine? Do you really think that she could even hold a tambourine on stage with Prince? Beyonce was singing with Prince, okay? Now I'm not gonna sit here and act like Prince is the end all be all, but you got to be able to hold your own if you're going to perform with him. Okay. Yeah. You singing Etta James's At Last. You got to know what you're doing. Taylor Swift tried to sing Earth, Wind, and Fire September, and that thing was a disaster and embarrassing. He's not the end all be all. I was just talking about Beyonce did the performance with him. He's not the end all be all. Please don't say nothing like that. He's talented. He was talented, but he was not the end all be all. Nobody. Nobody. I mean, I could make a case for Stevie Wonder, who still probably had the greatest runs of albums that I would probably say. There's a reason why you can make a case he's the number one R&B artist. You make a strong case for Stevie. But even his stuff, some things I don't like. I know there's nobody that I go around thinking like, oh, no. No, because she's not soulful. She's got one type of tone, and she doesn't, if it'd be one thing and she was gonna morph into like a Dolly Parton or a who can I think of? Patsy Cline, or even LeAnn Rimes, who has more. LeAnn Rimes have more variety and more tone than Taylor Swift. No one said you had to, because I don't talk about neither of them. You don't want to keep bringing them up. I don't talk about Beyonce. I think she overrated. I know she overrated. But when you put up against Taylor Swift, I have to tell the facts. Neither one of them, for my money, can hold a candle to the Gaga. But Gaga's problem is all the gimmicks and all the foolishness overran her musicality. Gaga runs circles amongst both of them, but she ain't got the catalog, and a lot of her antics and the watered down that the industry been pushing, the 80s electro vibe. That don't mean nothing if you don't put it to use, though. What does it mean? And see, Gaga, to obvious years, will say, oh, she's a double junior whopper Madonna. And that's true. See, she's more talented, but Madonna had the better catalog. And that's all we're going to go by. And that's what we go by. So if you don't suppress past, no. Katy Perry is a gimmicky act. A third tier cute act. And nothing more, nothing less. I don't know. You could say New Jersey or New York. That's all I'm going to say with that. Okay, I got about 10 more minutes before my call today. You can be third tier and you can do the Super Bowl. What does that mean? Oh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers a top tier band? Hmm? Hmm? They went after somebody that could sell some records. Is Jennifer Lopez a top tier act? Is Shakira a top tier act? They did the Super Bowl too. What's your point? They're not memorable. Everybody they sell names to perform at the show. That does not mean they're top tier. She's a third tier act for me in my ears. And I go back when Katy Perry first came out. Again, I remember when she was messing with whatchamacallit from Gym Class Heroes. He had a birthday recently. The Who, they sucked. Bruce Springsteen sucked. Boring, bland. Didn't care for it. Oh yeah, he's up there too. So those three were the worst. Weekend, The Who, Springsteen, those were bad. Travis McCoy is his name. That's who I was trying to think of. Travis McCoy. I go back when Rihanna, I mean not Rihanna, when Katy Perry was with him. Yeah. Rihanna was okay. She was good considering she was pregnant. She did okay. Rihanna was okay. Not the worst, not the best. Yeah, she did pretty good for being pregnant. She was better on that stage than Alicia Keys was with the baby when she performed in front of Prince. That was pretty sad, you know. But just saying. Okay, I got 4 more minutes before I roll. Again, the video will be available for rebroadcast, so if people want to watch, feel free to watch. And then I won't put it on file for a couple weeks. So keep hitting the like and and everything else. Ain't nobody above not getting this. Probably did because his career's in the ain't no money. It could have been a PR stunt, but I believe that he's going. It's a combination of both. But ain't no buzz from no more. The industry's done with him. They left him out the pasture, and that's where the cat's at right now. So I can't. 15 minutes is up before I had a chance to pull the clock around. No, she sucks. She's watered down. She's not better than Ariana Grande, and I'm not a big Ariana Grande fan, but Selena Gomez is just lightning cakes. No, I mean artists. The thing about it is, they can. I defend if someone tries to take that credibility of an artist, but if they say that this sucked or that sucked, I could mind I sit there and argue. We're not dealing with the same level playing field, so you don't have a lot to pick from these days. Yeah, if you look like eye candy, that's what they want. But it was a little bit the way back in the day too. Except you didn't build a 30-year career with it, that's all. She doesn't look good to me. She look like she needs a meal and she look like she's a teenager trying to wear her mama's nighttime clothes or something or somebody clothes at the strip club and I don't like it. And then she sucks what comes out her mouth and then she's flat and boring. Yeah, because I always had a lot of acts that I liked on mute. They're only fan, put them on mute. But if you can't sing and you hurt my ears, I can't clap for you. You know. That's why people's standards are so large. That's why there's no industry no more. One of the reasons, because I look at what they're promoting. And I don't talk about Sabrina Carpenter in my real life at all. She's one of the most disposable, not even something even to talk about, you know. But that's what the industry wants, though. I liked a couple of her songs, but I didn't think she was gonna last long. It's just catchy, quirky, catchy, quirky. That helps her sell. But there's a lot of politics involved with that song. She had a few things I liked, all right, but again, I don't think about it. Okay. Well, her voice and her musicianship and lack of originality, and you think about it, she really hasn't done anything memorable in the last 15 plus years. And maybe for you, when she tried to croak that note out with Usher on that Super Bowl. See, I'm gonna tell you why her lack of professionalism shows. She was on stage at Broadway a rehearsal with Jay Z, and he told her, he said, "Don't you mess this up with the tone." Now, when you got a rapper telling a so-called singer, "Don't mess up your cadence and your tone," that's embarrassing. I just, there's nothing about her. Imagery aside, she's an okay act. She's like a female version of John Legend. Puts my butt to sleep. And they both sleepy time music for me. But in her case, is Mr. Even, I mean, he sucks to me because he's just bland and he's like a lounge act. And she's a female lounge act. But I'm like, I never believed the hype of Masterful because she can play some of what Beethoven, Chopin. I mean, because she can give you some classical runs and she got a little dinky hip hop K-tail beat. Somehow she was supposed to be something more than she's not. There's nothing special about with her, you know. One of those kind of theater acts, well, decent in spurts. But you're acting like she gonna morph into Nia Long. I mean, Nia, not Nia, Nina Simone, or she gonna morph into Roberta Flack or something. That ain't happening. Clive Davis, the machine. There you go. He took the Whitney approach with her. She borrowed. She took songs, and then they gave her credit for songs, and she had the machine with her. Because being Alicia Cook didn't sell. That's her government name. Well, again, imagery plays a part, but she looked a little scary and with them braids because she scared Method Man in one of the videos. She looked tougher than him. They had to work on her. She very Hell's Kitchen, very New York. They had to clean her up, to take the cigarettes down a notch and the New York out of her. But I just always thought she was corny to me. But hey, if you put the machine behind somebody, she had the machine behind her, and NDRE didn't. And that's pretty much the difference right there. Because that was her comp back then. All right, I'm gonna get ready to go in just a second. I've been here on. I like Badu's songs and catchiness of her. No, she's not the best singer or anything, but she's got a personality and she could definitely hold her own on stage. But I think with her, she took herself a little too serious, a little heavy handed, and kind of underwrote. Good hybrid of singing and hip hop. A good hybrid, you know, one of those kind of acts that can always keep a place and keep a tour going. But I just think sometimes the songs just didn't, things didn't land, stay consistent where they should have. That's how I feel about her. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a day now. Appreciate when it came through. Um, she was watered down. She was kind of like a precursor to Sierra, minus the dancing. Precursor to there's a few. She had the kind of look they wanted to sell. I remember she was messing with Nick Cannon. I remember Love Don't Cost a Thing. I'm all out Christine Milan. But we didn't think of her as being no long term act. She was basically a casting couch, somebody that was gonna be on the arm candy, homogenized, fourth tier type of talent on a good day. And she did okay for herself, considering she really had much going for her talent wise. She did do pretty good for herself. But that's what the industry sells you on, though. She had the right look, and she was playing this teenagey type of vibe, and she had anything going for her that maybe could have pulled something out of it. So. But she's doing okay for herself, though. I saw something recently. And I'm gonna give her a roll. Appreciate when it came through, and thank you for taking the polls and the questions. And I will be by probably Wednesday and Friday. Appreciate everyone with the commentary. Feel free to watch the video. Continue hitting the polls up. Hit like, subscribe. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Thank you all. Peace.